A trigger is an emotional, environmental, or social situation that brings up memories of previous activities. Previous activities. Now, those activities could be drug use. It could be food. It could be whatever it is. That's what happens. I got on my biker's vest today. I like to ride my bike, and when I get on my bike and it's about 70 degrees, I turn on some good old New Edition. I turn on New Edition and Lisa Coat Jam and all of those songs are Pretty Brown Eyes. Yeah, I don't know if anybody remember that. Pretty Brown Eyes. I turn on all those old songs. And the reason why is because it triggers me. It triggers me that when those songs were out, when I was between the age of 14 and 17, 18, I felt like I could do anything. I felt like nothing was be impossible. I felt good. I felt energized. I felt I can't wait to see what my life is going to be. And when I get on that motorcycle now, I feel the same way. When I get on there and listening to that music, I feel like a kid again. It triggers the feelings of what I felt when that music was played. So that's what we have to avoid, triggers that can take us in the wrong place. Mentally, it can take us to the wrong location. Now, watch this. These memories can create strong emotions that have the potential to lead to impulses that will make you use again, make you pick up again, make you make that bad decision to gamble again. That's what it will do. Triggers don't necessarily lead to relapse, but it can make it harder to resist temptation. It can make it really hard to resist temptation. So when you're triggered, it turns on a switch in the brain that cooperates with intense desires to participate in the previous activity. It creates urges, pulls, if you will, cravings that will lead to the activity you don't want to lead to. Okay, so triggers decrease negatively. It will decrease the longer you stay away, the longer you stay abstinent, the longer you refuse to submit to the very thing that you're trying to get away from. And I want you to know, here are 10 things that can help you stabilize your life. But before I get to those 10 things, I want to give you some scripture, because I want you to know that God gives you an answer to all of what you're dealing with. In the book of Philippians, and let's look at Philippians 4. Philippians 4, verse 8. And it says this. This is in the Passion Bible. It says, "So keep your thoughts continually fixed on all that is authentic and real, honorable, admirable, beautiful, respectful, pure and holy, merciful and kind, and fasten your thoughts on every glorious work of God, praising him always." So when you're triggered, you got to control your thoughts. And what the Bible is saying is, if this thing gives you a negative thought, a thought of doing something that you know you're not supposed to do, then it tells you exactly this is how you get away with it, get around it, and this is how you avoid it. Start praising God. When you start praising God and start thinking on all of those things that are blessings, when you start thinking about the benefits, when you start thinking about how good God is, it'll take away the desire, the urge, the craving. Listen to this in the next verse. It says this: follow the example. Listen to that. Follow the example of all that we have imparted to you, and the God of peace will be with you in all things. The God of peace. So this is how you get peace when a trigger takes place. The first thing, it disturbs your peace. It disturbs your peace. Now that's how you get it off your mind. But this is before it ever makes it to your mind. These are the things you should do. Watch this. Halt. I know you've heard it. If you have spent any time around anyone that knows anything about recovery, one of the things they're going to tell you is halt. The word halt means H stands for hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. When you're hungry, when you're angry, when you're lonely, when you're tired, it becomes harder for you to think rationally and reasonably. So hunger, it makes you almost irritable. I don't know about you, but when I'm hungry, I get irritable. My wife she says to me, we're going to the grocery store. She says, make sure you eat, because when you get hungry, you're not too nice. Well, I make sure I don't want to get too hungry. Next one is angry. Anger desensitizes you to the consequences that will occur if you participate in that activity. That's what anger does. It lowers your fear, your reasoning to stay away because of the consequences. You don't even think about the consequences. Loneliness is another terrible one. When you feel lonely, you start thinking irrational. I'm going to tell you right now, you start thinking irrational. You begin to think, well, I don't nobody care about me. I'm just the black sheep of the family. I don't want to be alone. Maybe I will call so-and-so and I'm not going to drink, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do that. But that's the person that you did it with the last time. But you don't want to be by yourself. So when you become lonely, it intensifies your cravings as individuals seek comfort or escape from the feelings of loneliness. And don't you know, with addiction, when you feel lonely, you will pick up to escape from those negative emotions. The other one is becoming too tired. When you're tired, you become over emotional. It becomes difficult to process information. Your inhibitions tend to decrease when you're tired. Sometimes you overcommit yourself when you're tired. Sometimes, is there anybody that's ever undercommitted themselves because they were tired? Somebody asked you to do something and you were like this, no, I can't do it. I ain't doing it. And I was like, why? It's not till next week. I know, but I'm tired. Listen, those can be triggers. Number two, it is your emotions. Energy in motion. Emotion can create desires to reveal a relapse when you are unaware. Your emotions, they will create and a relapse will become open at the moment that you're are not aware. Negative emotions, feeling sad, feeling guilty, feeling shameful. It'll make you say, oh, forget it. Listen, I'm gonna go and get high. I'm gonna go and drink. I'm gonna go gamble. I'm going out. Emotions. The next one is, watch this, positive emotions. It don't have to always be negative. It can be positive emotions. You get a celebration atmosphere, and you feel good. Everything's going well, and you feel like, man, I just want to enjoy myself. And before you know it, that feeling has led you right back to using. Celebrations or moments of happiness may lead to cravings as individuals associate substance use with reward or pleasure. So be careful at that time when you feel extra good, when you feel like everything is fine. Now, here we go. Number 3, one of the most common triggers is stress. Stress is a common trigger. When you become overwhelmed, you feel like the situation is too much pressure. You begin to think on it. And when you think and you think and you think and you're overwhelmed and you're stressed, then anxiety kicks in. And when your anxiety kicks in, you want to use some type of substance for just to calm down. I've heard people say, man, I need a cigarette. I need to calm my nerves. Somebody else said, give me a beer because, hey, I need a cold one. That's the way my family would say. Give me a cold one. I need one. I done worked hard and I'm stressed. I need something to calm me down. You know, and what happens is when you're overwhelmed, the stressors can weaken your coping mechanisms, increasing your vulnerability to a relapse. So what happens is it weakens the things that you would have been thinking and doing and whatever you're going to do when you feel stressed. It brings that down and it lifts up the answer to your problem is your drug of choice, your substance of choice, your activity of choice. Okay? So beware of stress. Number 4, overconfidence, cocky, can lead to a trigger in a relapse. Someone calls that the pink cloud experience, where you feel invincible, overconfident, and you feel like I can handle anything. I don't have any type of problem. Then you become complacent and you stop doing the things that you did earlier to get free from the addiction. And you feel like you're strong. Before long, the narrative in your brain starts to tell you, hey, it's not going to hurt none just to do one. And before long, you relapse. Okay? So number 5, mental and physical illness can lead to a relapse. Now, I don't know how many times I heard somebody say, I'm depressed. I'm over anxious. My anxiety kicks in. I need help. I need to use something. I feel like I'm about to lose my mind. I feel like I'm about to go crazy. All of this is mental stressors and mental processing errors. That's all it is. And the disease of addiction will attack. At the moment you feel that you're feeling down, you're feeling anxious, that's when it will attack. Mental health issues can exasperate cravings and diminish motivation to stay sober, motivation to stay free. Mental illness, what difference does it make? Don't nobody care. all, just forget it. Physical pain can give you a mindset that will justify using. Have you ever heard somebody say, my back is hurting? I took the Tylenol, that ain't working. I need some more than Tylenol. And before long, they'll be like, don't you know, remember the doctor prescribed some Percocet or something for you? Give me one of those. Before long, you will participate in illegal activity to take part in that substance or use of that substance that you don't even want. And it's the pain. It's the pain. Not only that, but coping with physical pain may tempt individuals to seek relief through that substance that caused them pain. Physical pain makes you forget about the emotional pain that you received as a result of you being trapped by that addiction. Number 6, social isolation can lead to a relapse. See, when we isolate ourselves, it gives way to our inner critic. It amplifies your negative self-talk, realizations, and rationalize to make participating in that activity make sense. It's not going to make sense. But your thoughts can create a narrative that justifies doing it. Well, shucks. Ain't nobody here but me. Don't nobody care. I'm going to do it anyway. I know I'm going to get in trouble, but I'm going to do it anyway. Listen, this is what addiction is about. Addiction is the use of any substance or a behavior that causes negative results and you can't stop doing it. That's what addiction is. It causes negative results and you can't stop it. And so isolating is only going to give the mindset of the disease time to talk you into it. So you need to hang out with some other people. You need to find a support group. That's the time you call your church. That's the time you call your friend. That's the time when you call your support to talk over the thoughts that you're having about using. Number 7, relationships, intimate relationships, romantic relationships can cause you to relapse. The breakdown of a romantic relationship can make one feel lost, out of control, which produce powerlessness and gives the trigger more power. So my suggestion, and it is suggested, if you're not in a relationship and you're just now trying to get sober, don't get in a relationship because there's too much friction and emotional baggage that you have to deal with before you introduce somebody else to your life. Now, not only those relationships that are romantic and intimate, but just family, friends, co-workers, individuals that you interact with. Let's say you have an argument with your best friend and your best friend says some horrible things. It can make you feel so bad that you want to get it off your mind. And before long, you will use whatever you used to use to get things off your mind. That is a trigger. So you got to be careful. Now, remember this. Remember this. Any relationship that you truly care about can trigger you to use. However, at the end of this, I'm going to show you how you can respond when triggered, how to prevent being triggered. Okay. Number 8, getting a promotion, a new job can trigger you. A promotion or more money can lead to a relapse. I've had somebody tell me, well, I paid all my bills and I got a little money left over. So I might as well, just one won't hurt. And before long, they've lost the ability to pay their bills again because they've entered into an active addiction. An active addiction is selfish, and it will take everything, including your life. So, number 8 is a new job. Celebrating a recent accomplishment with a drink. I'm just going to celebrate. I'm just going to have one drink. Having the responsibility of that new job can be overwhelming when you don't know all of the responsibilities and you're becoming focused and your thoughts are racing about what could be. It can trigger it. Be careful. Number 9, reminiscing, glamorizing previous drug or drinking and or previous activities. Do you remember? Man, I remember. Man, we used to have a good time. Yeah. You remember so-and-so came over and he was blind. And we had to drive him home. You know, and before you know it, the thoughts begin to make it seem like it's not so bad. And when you have those thoughts, you have to remember, number 1, this is a huge thing. Why did I stop in the first place? Because the good times ended. The good times ended. It might have started like it was a good time, but the end of it was a bad time. Remember the reason you stopped in the first place. When you start thinking about it from a positive perspective, beep, 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 signals ought to go off. You're headed for a relapse. The answer to this is talk to a support team, a sponsor, a pastor, to help you remember why you stopped in the first place. Yes. Now, not only that, but I want you to understand number 10. Number 10 says social situations. In other words, just being around the people from yesterday. I have friends that know me from when I was a child. And because they remember me when I was a child, they have the thought that perhaps I still do some of the things I did when I was a kid. I'm a new person. I don't do that anymore. I know I was crazy, but I'm no longer crazy. I'm different. And when they start talking about it, and you find yourself driving through the neighborhood, it can trigger you. I remember one girl, she told me that she drove through her neighborhood to show everybody how good she was doing. And she had just bought a new car, had a gold necklaces on, rings. She drove in the neighborhood, but she didn't drive out. In other words, before she got out of that neighborhood, she had given up her car. She had given up her gold, her silver, all of the things that she had, her money. She was right back where she was in the beginning. So social situations. You can have a trigger just by a smell. Man, I'm telling you, this marijuana now is loud. It's you can be driving behind someone and you can smell marijuana. Now, it don't smell like it used to smell when we were young. I don't know what they did to this stuff, but but you smell it now and like, my God. And if you were one that, that smoked, it can trigger you. So what do you do? What do you do? First of all, discard all alcohol, drugs, or paraphernalia in your house, anywhere where you can access it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. That's the first thing. Second thing, make a list of places, people, and things that can trigger you. Know it from the beginning, and avoid it. Next one, make sure you have a healthy support group to contact in times of contemplation. Have a list already in your phone who you can talk to. At least 3 to 5 people. Because if one don't answer, somebody else will answer. Next, identify your goals. Write them down. Put them in your phone. Make them accessible to you. Because if you keep your goals and what you're trying to accomplish in front of your eyes, whenever a trigger comes, hear this. Your goals will remind you why you stopped. My baby, my daughter, my son, my family, my wife, my husband. Keep those. I gotta accomplish this goal. I gotta get this a job. I have to run this business. I have to accomplish these goals. It'll help. Learn healthy coping mechanisms. Breathing is a coping mechanism. Deep breathing. Type it up on the internet. Deep breathing and how it can help. Also, exercise. It's one of the most powerful craving canceling activities one can do. Yes. Another thing, playing a video game, cooking, having activities that will take your mind off of it. A trigger or a craving or urge will only last about 8 to 15 minutes if you don't fuel it with meditating on it. Okay? And last but not least, participate in relaxation techniques. Practice learning to relax, because stress is probably the number one cause of a relapse. So learn techniques. Learn how to take a breather. Learn how to practice self-care. Learn to get your nails done and your hair done. Learn to do something fun. And enjoy life. Enjoy life. Jesus said, I came that you might have life and have it more abundantly. God does not want us to be trapped by addiction. God wants us to enjoy our life on this side until we go to the other side. Well, I hope this has helped you. I hope you've received benefit from this lesson. And don't forget, if you need to talk to somebody, hit us up. Hit us up on Facebook, or you can just email me at medicineforthemind919, medicineforthemind919@gmail.com. And we will do our best to reach back out to you, help you, refer you to some places where you can get help. Hey, you're not in this alone. There's a whole lot of help available if you ask. Okay,